I see.
Thank you, Madam. Mr. Twala, just to be fair to you, sorry, Mr. Mtetwa, these names tend to be playing on my tongue. Just before we took a short adjournment, I asked you a question that you never responded to because I abruptly cut you off. The question was that the exhibits or the items that you observed there in the kitchen and in the dining room, the hat, the crutch, and the cans of alcohol in the dining room, did it then and then inform you that there's an incident that occurred in the house?
Manje ke bengisakuzwe ngaphambilini ukuthi konke lokho wakubona isiqhoko ikrachi amakani otshwala ukuthi lokho ke kwase kukutshela ke manje noma kuse kuba inkomba ke kwena ukuthi kunesahlakalo esenzeka phakathi endlini.
Cha kimi kwakungena qomba.
No, to me it was not an indication.
Okay, now before you went to hospital and instructed Mr. Themba Khumalo to lock the house up, did you take any steps to secure the evidence that you saw in the kitchen and in the dining room?
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ke ubusucela ke yena ke ubaba uKhumalo ukuthi aphinda avaleke ngaba khona yini nakuzama ke noma nakwenza ukuthi nje ni secure ke lobo bufakazi lobo enabona lapho phakathi endlini.
Manje ubufakazi usho ama crashes nesiqhoko.
Referring to the crutch as well as the head
and the beer cans.
Namakan.
Cha.
No.
Now you go to hospital and you learn of the demise of the deceased, correct?
Nase niya khona ke esibhedlele ila enase nitshela khona ke ukuthi cha ke akasekho noma lona olime ebekade limele akasekho emhlabeni.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long were you at the hospital before you then returned back to the scene at 13511 Kutlanong Street?
Kwaba isikhathi esingakanani nisesibhedlele ngaphambilini kokuthi niphinde futhi nibuyele khona eKutlanong Street?
Noma ngingasasikhumbula isikhathi kodwa asihlalanga esibhedlela futhi ngaphambi kokuba sesiboni kwenzakalana sabe sesiphuthuma.
Although I'm not certain about the time, but we didn't stay long at the hospital, and also after having seen as to what was happening, we then rushed.
And your testimony is that you returned from hospital with Makhumalo, who and Ruth explains to you what had transpired in the house, correct?
Nase nibuyela ke khona ke endlini nihamba naye ke uMakhumalo nanje ngobushilo ukuthi njengoba nihamba njena ke enichazela ke ukuthi kwenzekani.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did you return with Makhumalo and any person else that you did not arrive with at the hospital?
Uma senibuyela khona ke endlini nibuyela noMakhumalo nomunye umuntu omunye noma kwakuMakhumalo yedwa noma kwakukhona nomunye futhi?
Makhumalo.
Only Makhumalo.
The reason I'm asking you this is that there's a lady that testified in this matter, Miss Mokete, who testified that she and Makhumalo traveled with the police back to the scene from hospital. What's your comment on that?
Imbangela ukuthi ngikubuze loyo mbuzo ke ngoba ke kuno CC ke obe ufakazi lana ke uNthabiseng Mokete yena ke kubufakazi bakhe othe wayehamba noMakhumalo ke behamba namaphoyisa uma bebuya esibhedlele bebuyela khona endlini. I don't know her. I was only traveling with Makhumalo.
Now you testified that upon arrival at the scene, there's now lots of people outside in the yard and in the street in that vicinity of the scene, correct?
Ushilo ukuthi uma senibuya ke esibhedlele manje senibuyela khona endlini ke nathola sekunabantu abaningi ke egcekeni estradini khona lapho nje kwisini leyo.
Cha babengekho endlini abantu babese emgwaqeni.
No, the people were not in the yard, they were in the street.
Okay. And you make further observations on the scene, for example, the damage to the kitchen door. on your return, correct?
Uma senibuya ke okunye futhi owakubona ke noma wabe usubona ukuthi nomnyango ke ulimele nawo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, just to track back a bit, at the hospital, you also testified that you spoke a bit to Makhumalo, correct?
Okunye futhi uma singabuyela nje emuva ke ushilo ukuthi nasesibhedlela ke wakhuluma nje kancane noMakhumalo.
Yebo ngoba sasibuza ukuthi ubani uMakhumalo waseyazaka eseyichaza ke ukuthi hayi uyithi.
Yes, because we were inquiring as to who Makhumalo was. She then came to us saying that she was Makhumalo.
Now, as you go back with her, that is Makhumalo, what she relates to you, did you then note it in your pocketbook?
Nanjengoba senibuya ke manje esibhedlela nibuyela khona ke endlini nihamba nayo uMakhumalo, lokho awayenitshela kona ngaba okubhala noma nanikubhala noma okubhala phansi ku notebook.
Yes, sasikubhala okunye lokho esasikubona ukuthi kubalulekile.
Yes, we would write the other stuff that we consider to be of importance.
Now, again, before you let's clarify that. Did you go to the direction of the park in Kutlwanong to look for the suspects before you first entered the Makhumalo residence or thereafter?
Ushilo ke ukuthi nathi uma nifika lapha yankathi nifika okokuqala kunalomuntu ke owayenikhomba ke ethi babaleke baye ngasepark. Ngabe uma ngabe senilandela ke niyobheka epark nikwenze lokho ngaphambi kokuthi ningene phakathi endlini noma nikwenze uma seniphuma endlini?
Ngaphambi kokuba singene endlini.
It was before we entered the house.
And what did you specifically do at the park? Did you just drive around the park? Did you get off the car to look into the park? What exactly did you do?
Nafika nenzani epark ngabe nje nani driver nje nijikeleze khona epark noma nami isimoto nasenehle emotweni nabheka yini nafika nayenze epark?
Asa driver nje sakhanyisa ama lights ajika.
We just drove applied the lights and then we turned back.
And now, at the scene, the first time when you get Mr. Khumalo Themba to open for you and have a walk through the scene, were you dressed in appropriate protective clothing to prevent cross-contamination?
Uma nifika laphayana nivulelwa uyena ke uMr Khumalo okokuqala laphayana nani igqoke ke impahla ekuyizona ke noma ke lokho okunivumelayo ukuthi kungabi khona nokuphazamiseka ke noma icontamination ekhona ngabe izinto nanigqokile noma nanifakile ukuthi ningaphazamisi noma ngabe kuphazamiseka kobufakazi usebenzisa legama lo contaminate ke
Ugqoke impahla zamaphoyisa.
We're wearing police for uniform.
What I'm trying to get at from you is that you are not wearing the forensic clothes, the overalls, the booties, the gloves that the forensic people normally wear on crime scenes, correct?
Ngikhuluma kulezi ke ama forensic lezi abavamise ukuthi bayifake ke uma kunama scene ke ama gloves, ama booty, ama overall. No.
Now, lastly, just to clarify something on the pocketbook that you say it was destroyed, apparently from the knowledge that you got at the station that they are generally destroyed after 3 years, correct?
Ushilo ukuthi awunasiqiniseko sokuthi u3 noma u4 years kodwa bashilo nje ukuthi phakathi ko3 no4 years bayawa destroy ama pocketbook.
Yeah.
When did you go to look for this pocketbook in particular? Which year did you go to look for this pocketbook?
Kwakunini uma niya ke niyawabheka lama pocketbook niye ngawuphi unyaka ukuyowabheka?
Unyaka ophelile.
Last year.
Khathi sila ecourt.
It was when we were here in court.
So that will be 2022.
Yes.
And you testified that you only managed to get pocketbooks for 2016, correct?
Ishilo kunathola ayetholakala ilawa seqaleni ka2016. Yes.
If I may ask you this, after 2016 to date, to 2022, 5 years had elapsed roughly. Why was this pocketbook, in your knowledge, also not destroyed, the 2016 one that you found, if they are destroyed every 3 years or 4 years?
Uma kuwukuthi njengoba ngaphambilini ushilo ukuthi awazi noma u3 noma u4 years yini la adestroy khona manje ke uma uye last year wase uthola ke aka 2016 ingabe uyazi yini ukuthi kwakungani le yona ka 2016 ngoba seku 5 years ke ukuthi lona why lenga destroy wanga?
Angazofe ngimbuze le logistic.
I don't know. I'll ask on your behalf when I get to logistics.
As the court pleases, my lord, those are my questions for the witness. No further questions.
Yes, yes, Mr. Minister.
Is it please the court, my lord? I've got no question to you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Malo.
As the court pleases, my lord, may I proceed? Thank you. Sergeant, is it correct that as a police officer to arrive on the scene, your duty is to gather as much information as possible?
Ngabe kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi uma nanjengephoyisa ke uma ufika kwindawo yesigameko ukuthi uthole imininingwane ngobuningi bayo noma information ngobuningi bayo?
Kuliqiniso yini?
Yep.
Yebo kuliqiniso.
Yes, that is true.
What investigation did you conduct when you arrived at the scene on the 26th of October?
Iliphu phenyo owalenza noma enalenza uma ngabe nifika kwindawo yesigameko ngazo i26 zika October?
Ukuthi ngithola umuntu one-information ukuthi kwenzakalani.
To get someone with information as to what was happening.
Who was that person?
Kwakubani lo yomuntu lo?
Mama Makhumalo.
Makhumalo.
Is it also correct that one of the means for you to remember the incident was for you to reduce as much information in your statement?
Engabe futhi okunyeke noma enye indlela ke yokuthi ke ube ne-information noma ke ulwazi oluningi ke ukuthi ke lokhu onako noma ke ole information onayo ke uyibhale phansi kwi-statement ukuthi yes.
The information that you received from the witness, that is Makhumalo, did you reduce it down into your statement?
Lokho wakutshelwa ke uyena ufakazi uMakhumalo ingaba wakubhala phansi yini kwi-statement sakho?
Ngathi ke ngimchazele lapha. Thina as uniform masifika esinini siye senze i-scene statement. Then abanye ama witnesses akhona kufike ama detective okuyiwona azothatha ama statement ama witness nabantu bonke nje abantu abebekhona la. Thina senza mina njengokuthi umathebula wenza i-scene statement, mina nga witnessa i-scene statement kamathebula, then oCaptain Zwane bona babezothatha ama statement from Makhumalo nabanye ke ayezoba mentiona yena ababekhona.
Let me explain this to you as the uniform members. What we do is to get scene statements or to make scene statements. Then if there are witnesses, the likes of Captain Zwane, the detectives, we then take statements from the witnesses. For example here, Mathebula made a scene statement and then I witnessed to that statement.
You further did not obtain a statement from the lady who told you that there were persons who ran to the park.
Nakulona ke uma lo owanitshela ke ukuthi kunabantu ababaleka baya ngase park nakuyena ke anizange nithathe statement. No.
You did not take a statement from Themba Khumalo.
Nakuyena uThemba Khumalo? No.
It is your evidence that when you arrive at the scene, Themba Khumalo opened the house for you. Is that correct?
Ubufakazi bakho lokho ukuthi uThemba Khumalo wanivulela uma nifika endlini.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the door or the house had been opened, did it occur to you that an incident had occurred inside the house?
Uba umnyango ke lona wasendlini usuvulwa ke ingabe kwafika yini kuwena ke noma kuninako ukuthi kunesigameko esenzeka ke lapha phakathi endlini uma senivukela umnyango senibona?
Ukufika kwami kokuqala yazi lapha ayikho into eyayikhombisa ukuthi konke yenzakele lapha.
When I arrived there for the first time, nothing indicated to me that something had happened there.
You did not proceed to the dining room on your first visit.
Uma nifika laphayana noma nkathi niya laphayana nifika kokuqala anizange niye yini dining room?
Zayi.
We did.
Is it correct that you told this court that you saw dots in your own words? There were dots of blood next to the couch.
Angithi kusho wena ke ukuthi wabona ama dots egazi eduze kwe couch noma kwe sofa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that not an indication to you that an incident had occurred inside the house?
Lokho kwakungasiyona yini inkomba yokuthi ke kunesigameko esenzekile noma esenzeke endlini.
Wala ngishilo ukuthi sakubona lokho sesibuye kwesibili.
But I did say that we saw that when we came back for the second time.
The bullet projectile. You remember that you mentioned something about the bullet projectile?
Uyakhumbula ke kunento oyishilo ngebullet projectile.
Yeah.
Yes.
When did you see that projectile? Was it on the first visit or the second visit?
Ubone lokho nkathi nifika kokuqala noma nkathi senibuya esibhedlela.
Sibuye kwesibili.
When we came back for the second time.
To me, it looks like it was a walk in and out of the house.
Kumina kubukeka ngathi kwakuungena nje nokuphuma endlini.
Okokuqala ngoba vele yayingekho ulwazi sasinalo nomuntu wayesihamba naye wayengasitsheli lutho oluphathekayo.
Indeed, for the first time, yes, because we had no information, and even the person in whose company we were in had nothing tangible for us.
Can you describe this bullet projectile? How it looked like?
Le bullet projectile ungayichaza ukuthi yayibukeka kanjani?
Awuyayipacakile kodwa ngathi sisebenzile.
It was flat, damaged, appeared that it had been used.
Was it a bullet jacket?
Kwakuyi-bullet jacket.
Lokho phambili enhlamvini.
It is the front part of the bullet.
Was it destroyed?
Ingaba yayi-destroyed yini?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did it form a jacket?
Ingabe yase yenza ke noma ifoma i-jacket.
What's a jacket?
It's a damaged bullet. It formed
Yeah.
a jacket.
He doesn't understand you as such. Do you understand the jacket of a bullet, what it is, sir?
Uyazi ukuthi yini i-jacket ye-bullet inhlamvu?
Noma ngayazi kodwa ngisuke ngacabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe usho i-cartridge mayithi i-jacket.
Yeah.
I-cartridge angithi ile ingena ngapha kuyinhlamvu bese kuba inhlamvu lapha phambili manje mayithi i-jacket.
Yeah, although I don't know, but I just assumed that he was referring to the cartridge, my lord.
So
okay.
clarify your,
All right.
your questions.
So it was a damaged bullet.
Kwakuyi-bullet nje eyonakele.
Lokhu kwangaphambili kwenhlamvu okusho.
Yes, the front portion of the bullet was damaged.
All right.
Angithi mawudubula uphuma lokhu kwangemuva usale phansi.
Okay, when you shoot, the back part comes out and it drops to the floor.
Uphume lokhu kuphambili.
Then the front portion goes out.
Yiyo ke lento lena ephumayo ke.
And shots that were fired inside the house.
Manje ke ofakazi asebethule ubufakazi phambi kwalenkantolo ke bashilo ukuthi isibhamu saqhuma amahlandla amathathu ngaphakathi endlini.
Okay.
Okay.
Were there any empty cartridges that you found inside the house?
Ingaba khona yini ama cartridge ayesebenzile ke onawathola noma wawathola phakathi endlini?
Cha.
No.
Was there any search that you conducted inside the house?
Ngaphakathi endlini ingaba nasesha yini?
You and Matebula?
Wena noMathebula.
Yazabheka phela ukubheka kwethu akufani nokubheka kwalabo abanye abasuke benento zakhona. Ukubheka nje ngamehlo kanje ukuthi utholani.
We looked around. Now, our looking is unlike those or the others who do have the means to look around. Ours was just to look around as to what it is that we can find.
So we're using your naked eyes.
Amehlo nje kuphela naniwasebenzisa.
Yeah.
Yes.
You also mentioned that there was a damage at the door.
Okunye futhi okushilo ukuthi nesicabhake sasilimele.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you make some investigations as to the cause of that damage at the door?
Ngabe uphenyo nalenza yini lokuthola ukuthi kwakuyini imbangela yokuthi umnyango ube kanjalo?
Ngasiyikhulumela nje naloya mama Makhumalo wasola ukuthi inkambi ishaye lapha phezulu ayisiwa ke lapha phansi.
We were just chatting or talking with Makhumalo. She then suspected that the bullet hit the top part and then it went down or hit there.
Did you move the door around?
Ngabe isikapa lesi nasihambi noma nasimove ke
To see the damage at the back of the door?
ukubona ke ukulimala lokho ngasemuva komnyango.
Yeah, ngizosebenzisa sona vele ngaselela.
Yes, that is the door that we were using as we entered.
I mean, when you wanted to observe the damage at the back of the door, did you move the door around?
Ngisho uma ngabe senifuna ubheka ke ukuthi ukulimala lokho komnyango ke noma senifuna ukubuka kona ke ngaba nawumuva yini umnyango.
Sawuvula sawuvala.
In other words, opening it and closing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you come closer to the damage at the back of the door?
Ingabe nasondela yini la umnyango olimele khona?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean you.
Ngikhuluma ngawo.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Can you remind me again, at what time did you leave for the hospital after your first visit?
Uma ungangikhumbuza nje isikhathi enahamba ngaso ke manje uma angithi nifikele endlini manje seniyahamba ke nesibhedlela ukuthi kwakubani isikhathi uma senihamba niya khona esibhedlela.
Noma ngingasasikhumbuli kodwa nje akubanga isikhathi eside silapha. Ngoba esho ukuthi sangena nje saphuma sahamba.
Although I'm unable to remember the specific time, but it wasn't a long time after having arrived. We went in and came out and then we left.
When you left for the hospital, Constable Musia had not yet arrived.
Uma nihamba niya khona esibhedlela uConstable Msiya wayengekafiki.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you were doing the search, did you look around the cupboard area?
Ingabe nabheka yini la ngasekhabethini?
Hayi sabheka nathi ngendlela yethu.
We looked around in our own way.
I'm interested in that way. What way is that?
Yiphi ke leyo ndlela yini?
If you say you look on your own way, which way is that?
Uma uthi nabheka ngendlela yini, yiphi leyo ndlela yini?
Ukuthi ubheke nje yonke indawo ukuthi ungatholani.
Just to look around all over the places to what it is that you can find.
How did you look your own way?
Ukubheka ngendlela yini, wabheka
How did you
kanjani?
do that? Looking your own way. How did you do that?
Ukwenza kanjani lokho ukubheka ngendlela yini? Noma nikwenza kanjani?
Can you tell the court?
Noma emini engasezi ukuthi ngendlela yethu. Njengoba ngubheka nje ngibheka ngendlela yami. Understand ukuthi manje ubheka ngendlela. Njengoba ngimbheka nje ngimbheka ngendlela yami.
I don't know whether it's me now who doesn't understand.
Ayikho into engiyisebenzisayo ukuthi ngimbone, but ngisebenzisa indlela yami ukuthi ngikubone. Omunye ngakubona unje mina ngikubona unje. So asifani indlela sibheka ngayo.
As I'm looking at you now, I'm looking at you in my own way. There's nothing specific that I'm using, but I'm using my own way. Someone else can see you in a different way, and I can see you in this way.
I mean in terms of conducting a search. How did you conduct a search in your own way?
Manje sesikhuluma ke ngophenyo lolu ke noma ukusesha lokho ke enanikwenza ke uma uthi ngendlela yakho noma ngendlela yini usho kanjani?
Sorry, man.
Kushuthi asinazo izinto esizisebenzisayo thina epolice station ukuthi sibheke ngazo, but siye sifike nje sinini masikhondolile sibheke nje ukuthi sithola ini. Lokho esikutholayo sizokwazi ukuthi sibeke something ukuze makufika iphotographer bese izobeka ikhoni yayo ke kushoyo ukuthi khona esikutholile. Naye mayefika iphotographer iyabheka nayo ngendlela yakho ngoba khona lama torch bona bawasebenzisayo ukuthi bacinge. So nabo bayabheka ngendlela yabo. Makukhona abakutholayo nabo bamaka nga something ukuze bazokhona ukuqoqa konke.
What I mean is that at the police station there is nothing there, and there's no equipment or tools that we use to look. We look in our own way, and if we find something, we would just put something so that if the photographer or the detective arrives, he would then put a cone. Unlike them, they've got particular torches that they make use of to look for certain things, but we don't have such.
Have you heard about, and this is by the way, about Africans who are saying that they want to Africanize colonial knowledge? You haven't heard? If you haven't heard about it, fine.
No, there's nothing wrong about that, sir.
So Africanize colonial knowledge.
No, I haven't heard about it. I must be honest.
This gentleman is explaining that. You see, he says they don't have forensic equipment. They're using the naked eye, like in Africa. Am I right, sir?
Angithi usho kanjalo uthi nisebenza nje amehlo enu nini? Yes.
Hey, that's why he says, ngendlela yethu. Maybe you should ask whether he has received training as a forensic detective or a forensic policeman or a detective in gathering evidence.
Were you trained in the forensic field to gather evidence?
Kwahlangothi ke le forensic ngaba waqeqeshwa yini ngokwa forensic ke ukuthi uqoqe noma uthole ubufakazi? Cha. No.
The search that you conducted in your own way on that day, would you say it was a diligent search?
Lokusesha othi nakwenza ke ngendlela yenu ungathi kwakuukuseshisisa.
Ake ngichaze la futhi ngithi thina ngoba beshilo lo mfosi safeguarda isimo. Uma befika laba omsiya ngoba baqeqeshelwe lento. Ibona ke kahle kahle kubele bathole yonke into. Kodwa nathi noma sikhona esikutholile akumelanga kodwa sibe singasakunaki ngoba sithi asiqeqeshelwanga khona.
Okay, let me explain this. As the gentleman previously mentioned that ours is to safeguard the scene. Now, when the likes of Msia arrived, they are the ones, my lord, who are trained for that in that particular field. But it doesn't mean just because we are not trained now in that field that when there's something that we find, we should ignore that. Yebo?
Ingakho futhi sikhona nokubiza bona bele springs beze la bezobheka ukuthi kutholakaleni bayithathe lo. So thina just ukuthi safeguard silinde bona bafike benze yonke into nama detective athathe laba ngani nesipale yonke into esiyitholile nokuthi kufike bani nobani nobani. That's it umsebenzi.
Hence we are able then to call them from Springs, and then we safeguard whatever it is that we have found. They come and then they take whatever it is that has been found. We also write down as to what it is that we found and who arrived on the scene.
Besides the damaged bullet, which you saw on your second visit on the floor, was there a bullet head that was found in your presence?
Ngaphandle kwalena ke ibullet ke eyayilimele noma damaged ke enayithola ke is a bullet head.
Yes, the bullet head.
Ikhona ke ibullet head enayithola. No.
There was no bullet head that was found by yourself during the search in your own way.
Kuloko kubheka kwenu
In the second visit now. I mean on the second visit.
kuloko kubheka kwenu ngendlela yenu kuma ngaba senibuya manje kwesibili ayikho ibullet head enayithola.
Hayi ngaphandle kwale ayiphansi cha ayikho.
No, apart from the one that was on the floor, we didn't find any.
Do you know Lieutenant Colonel Mhlahlo?
Lieutenant Colonel Mhlahlo uyamazi?
Ngambona nje seze la ngimazi. Ngambona la.
I saw the colonel. Yeah, I don't know the colonel.
On the morning of the 27th of October 2014, did he return to the scene?
Ekseni ngey 27 zika October 2014 ingabe wabuyela yini kwisini? No.
Do you know whether there was a bullet head that was found on the scene besides the damaged bullet head that you saw on your second visit?
Ngaphandle kwale enayibona ke eyayilimele noma eyayidamage ke inhlamvu ke noma le ndawo ngaphambili yenhlamvu uyazi yini ukuthi khona yini eyatholakala ke ibullet head kwisini?
Sorry, before he responds, are you aware you are asking a hearsay question? And if he responds to it, because it is elicited by you, it becomes direct evidence. You're aware of that?
Yes, I'm comfortable. Thank
Okay,
you.
fine.
Angazi lutho anginalwazi.
I know nothing. I don't have any knowledge.
Is it correct that you made a statement regarding this incident?
Ngabe kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi kuna statement ewasenza mayelana nalesigameko?
Yeah.
Yes.
The statement that you made, did you make it on your own handwriting or somebody was documenting the statement?
Sabhala wena noma ukhona umuntu wayibhalela sona?
Ngabhala yini?
I wrote it myself.
Is it correct that the statement that you made on your own handwriting was made on the 26th of October 2014 at about 2200 hours?
Nokuthi wasenza ngaleya langa langa 26 ka October 2014 ngo 10 isikhathi 10 ebusuku.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can remember, the statement that you made on the 26th of October 2014, did you make it at the police station or you were still at the crime scene?
Ngabe wasenza police station noma wasenza lapha ku crime scene?
Wasibhala ku crime scene kodwa uqedela sabe sesise police station.
I wrote it at the crime scene, but to finish it or to complete it, I did that at the police station.
Which part did you complete at the police station?
Yiphi ingxenye owayiqedela police station?
Noma ngingasazi ukuthi yona iparagraph but lokho kusekugcineni nje ngabe sengubhale police station.
Although I'm not certain or I don't know as to which paragraph, but the last part I completed that at the police station.
Is it the commissioning part?
Ila commissioner khona?
Uma ngikhumbula kahle ngagcina khona la engama khona ukuthi kufike ubani esinini. Ngangilinda ukuthi kufike noma iphotograph noma ubani ngizokhona ukubhala. Then kwathi mayefika ngabhala. Then lokho okunye iphathe ngezathi ngabe sengiyiqedela police station.
I remember that there's a certain part or portion where I stopped, where I was waiting for a particular someone from a particular unit to arrive. Then instead, if the photographer then arrives, I would then write, and then the other part I then finished at the police station.
Is it also correct that your statement was commissioned by Sergeant Matebola?
Kuyiqiniso nokuthi sa commissioner uyena uSergeant Matebola.
Yeah.
Yes.
You also confirmed that you signed your statement.
We assigned a foot to a nugget.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sergeant, can you confirm if that is your statement?
It's on others.
Yeah, so.
Yes, it is.
Is the signature that is appearing at the bottom of each page your signature?
His signature good page ngayo yakho.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Sergeant, do you remember that you told this court that on your first visit, Themba Khumalo opened the house for you and you went in and out.
Uyakhumbula ke kubufakazi bakho ukuthi uthe nkathi nifika laphayana okokuqala ke uThemba Khumalo uyena wanivulela nasingena ngaphakathi.
Yes.
Yes.
Let us go to paragraph 4 of your statement. Where it reads as follows, and I quote, "On our arrival, I found Mr. Themba Khumalo. He told us that they had already gone to hospital. We then asked Mr. Themba Khumalo to lock the house and rush to the hospital."
Lana ifundeka ngalendlela sathi uma sesifika ke sathola uThemba Khumalo wasesitshela ke ukuthi sebehambile ke ukuya esibhedlela. Sase simcela ke uThemba Khumalo ukuthi akhiye indlu sase siphuthuma esibhedlela.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will just stop there for this exercise. But do you confirm that it is not in your statement that Mr. Themba Khumalo opened the house for you, you got in, you thereafter moved out?
Uzovuma ke ukuthi akukho ku statement sakho ukuthi wanivulela uThemba Khumalo nangena endlini nase niphuma ke. Yes, I would agree.
Why not?
Kungani?
Mhlambe ngakubona kungabalekanga.
Maybe I didn't see it or consider it to be important.
Are you saying that it was not important for you to document in your statement what you observed inside the house on your first visit?
Ngabe uthi ke wakubona ngabalekile ukuthi ubhale phansi lokho owakubona noma enakubona ke uma niya okoqala endlini?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is further not in your statement that when you had entered inside the house on your first and second visit, there was dots of blood, as you put it, inside the house. Was that also not important?
Okunye futhi ke okungekho la ku statement sakho ukuthi ke igazi leli owalibona ke noma ama dots egazi ingabe nalokho kwakungabalekile?
Okwesibili.
The second time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angithi igazi ngilibonise ngiye okwesibili.
I saw the blood when I came back for the second time.
Whatever you want to put it. I'm saying it is not in your statement that on the second visit, as you want me to put it that way, or in that fashion, it is not in your statement that there was dot of blood that you saw inside the house.
Ngaleyo ndlela ke ufuna ngikubeke ngayo kodwa ke akukho ku statement sakho ukuthi wabona igazi.
Ngiyacabanga ngakubhalanga mina icolleague yami yabhala.
I think that which I did not write, my colleague wrote down.
Which colleague?
Yiphi yona?
Sergeant Matebula.
Sergeant Matebula.
It is further not in your statement that inside the kitchen there was a crutch.
Akukho futhi ku statement sakho ukuthi kwakune crutch eyayise kitchen.
Was that also not important?
Ngabe kwangabalekile nalokho?
I-crutch ngayiyekiswa ukuthi wathi mayechaza lo mama wathi kami khona okunye okungumfana wakukhona lapha esibhedlela wade yakho.
The reason why I left the crutch out is because she explained as to who the crutch belonged to. There was this gentleman that was there at the hospital. She said the crutch belonged to him.
You also told this court that, as a confirmation, that you made a statement at about 2200 hours that night.
Nokuthi statement wasenza ngo10 ebusuku.
Yebo.
Yes.
You also told this court that Constable Musia arrived between 2300 hours and 12 midnight.
Watsho nokuthi ke uMsiya wafika phakathi kuka 11 no 12 ebusuku.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you had made your statement, I just want to make sense of this. If you had made your statement at about 2200 hours and Musia arrives around 2300 hours to 12 midnight, why do you say in your statement that Constable Musia took the head and the bullet projector? If you had completed your statement at about 2200 hours and Musia arrived later?
Uma ukuthi uMsiya wafika phakathi ko 11 no 12 nanjengoba usho nokuthi wena ke istatement sakho wasibhala noma wasiqeda ke ngo 10 ebusuku. Kwenzeka kanjani ke ukuthi istatement sakho ubhala ukuthi uMsiya wathatha isiqoko kanye necrash?
If he had arrived at about 2300 hours to 12 later.
Uma ukuthi wafika ngalesikhathi osishoyo.
Ukufika kaMsiya kusuke yonke into esiyitholile esinini izothathwa uye.
On Msiya's arrival, everything that we had gathered or that we had found on the scene was going to be taken by him.
So as long as esayibonile ukuthi khona ini nani esinini, so siyazi ukuthi yonke into izosuke izothathwa uye.
As long as he had seen as to what it is that was on the scene, and that then says that everything was going to be taken or be removed by him.
Sergeant, you are not answering my question.
Awuphenduli engikubuzayo.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Ngingabufisa ukuthi ngikuphinde.
Is it material? Tell me. In taking statements, is it material?
It is material, my lord.
Yeah, like you say, look, in your statement, you never wrote in your statement that you opened the house. But in his statement, he says, before he and Matebula left for the hospital, they told Temba, Kumalo, to lock the house. Really? Are you with me? Now,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
the witness is being excoriated that he never said, you opened the house for us, we came in.
In the sense, my lord, in the sense that some of the things were found later.
Yeah, but how does it change his evidence? You must read the case of State versus Mafaladiso, 2013. It says courts must be wary of allowing counsel to quote snippets of statements. You know that?
No, I know.
You've got to read the whole statement to get the essence of the statement.
Of the statement.
You know. Now if a guy has left out, well, you never said you opened the door for us, but we told you to close the door. It follows that the door was opened. Must be.
Some of the things were found later,
Yes.
which he did not observe.
But he's just told you he's not a forensic, not even an expert, a forensic practitioner. He's not. He's just there to secure the scene. And then he says, "Abaqeqeshiwe bazozabona bomsiya," who are trained for that type of exigency, to come and do a thorough inspection. And he was actually told with Matebula by, I think it's Zwane, to say, "You're excused, because we've got a task team to take over the investigation of this matter if any further." Please.
That was going to be my last question. I have no further cross-examination. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Mrs. Inshallah.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Mteto, I'm going to ask you a question, not because you are an expert, but because you are a South African, you are a member of the South African Police Service.
Ngizokubuza ke imibuzo hayi ngoba ngithi ungoti kodwa ke ngoba uyilunga la amaphoyisa South Africa.
Do you understand?
Kuyezwakala?
Yebo.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start here. At the time when you attended the crime scene, what was your rank?
Ngalesikhathi owawuya khona laphayana kule ndawo isigameko esenzeka khona ke irank yakho yayithini? I was a constable.
Okay. And what was the year? What were your years of experience?
Oneminyaka emingaka uyiphoyisa?
Ngiyayo
5 if I'm not mistaken.
5 years. Okay. At that time, when you attended the crime scene, had you received any training within the SAPS of any kind? Any training in the SAPS? We understand now you were junior constable of 5 years experience. Any training that you had at that time?
Ngaleso sikhathi leso ingabe khona yini training noma yaluphi uhlobo owase uyitholile emaphoyisa? Siyazi ukuthi wawu constable uyi-junior eno 5 years kodwa ingabe ikhona yini training owase uyitholile noma yaluphi uhlobo emaphoyiseni?
Yeah, akhona.
Yes, there were.
Yes, tell us please, tell us.
Cela usitsheleke.
Tell the court must also hear you, Mr. Mteto. Or maybe should we take a break?
Be specific, what type of training is council referring to?
Yeah, you mean also been drilling, you know, police drilling.
That's why I'm open, my lord, to say, have you received any sort of or any kind of a training? Maybe, my lord, I think can I ask that we take a short adjournment?
Why?
Just to give witness a break,
A breather.
just a comfort break, and then we'll resume, my lord.
Sir, are you asking for a comfort break?
Ucela ikhefu. Ucela isikhashana ukuthi ke siphumule nje. No, I'm fine.
I know those.
Okay, then speak to me now. You must speak aloud, and you don't look down. What was your experience? Is there any training that you have received at the time when you attended the crime scene? If yes, tell us, please.
Noma ngingasawakhumbuli ngiwabhala kusasa wonke ngiwa-check bese ngibuya nawo.
Although I can't remember them all, I would write them down and come back with all of them tomorrow morning.
But we had received something.
Kodwa kukhona okwakutholile.
Hayi khona.
Yes, there is.
Okay. In doing what?
Okwenzani noma ukuthi wenzeni lokho ukuthola ukuthi wenzeni
In
ngakho.
what kind of duties?
Imisebenzi
That you were
noma
trained
emiphi
for.
imisebenzi noma
Or
lokho kwakuthi wenze
responsibilities.
eyiphi imisebenzi.
Sorry, my lord.
Ngoba bengisho ngicela ukuthi onke amakhozi engiwenzile ngifike nje ngiwabhale kahle ngiwa-check bese ngibuya nawo kusasa.
I'm making this request, my lord, to check all the courses that I did, write them down, and come back with them tomorrow.
Okay. At the time when you attended the crime scene, did you know what to do when you attend crime scene? Had you received any training, in-service training, whatsoever, in-house training as to what to look for, what to do when you attend the crime scene?
Ngalesa sikhathi lesiyana ke 26 October 2014 uya lapha yana ke wawazi yini ukuthi uma ufika kisini yini ekufanele uyenze yini ekufanele ukubheke noma khona owakuthola ekwakuyinko okwakutshela ukuthi uma ufika crime scene kufanele wenze lokho ubheke lokho?
Hayi lokho engangufundiswe khona e-college.
Yes, that's what I was taught in the college.
Yeah, what is it that you were taught?
Wafundiswana.
What is it that you were taught to do when you attend the crime scene?
Wafundiswa ukuthi wenzeni uma uya ku crime scene.
Ngoba ngifike esini ngiqale ngithola i-complainant iqala.
When I go to the scene, or that when I get to a scene, I first get a complainant.
I can't hear you, Mr. Mteto.
Utakakuzwa?
Ngithola i-complainant iqala.
To first get the complainant,
Yes.
And then izongichazela ukuthi kwenzakalani.
then the complainant will convey to me what happened.
Yes.
From lapho ke ngoba sengine-information ukuthi kwenzakalani senga-safeguarda isini.
From there, now that I will then be having information as to what is happening, I can then now safeguard the scene.
Okay. That's all.
Iloko kuphela.
Konke engikutholayo kumele nguphathe kahle ngize ngithole photographer ngifonele wonke umuntu okumele afike esini.
That everything that I would have gathered, that I would have to look after that until I then get the relevant people, the photographers.
Okay. Is there anything else, or that's all?
Khona okunye? No, nothing.
Okay. Let's start from the last. You were told that from every information that you find at the crime scene, you must gather it until it is taken by the relevant person. Did I get you correct?
Kuzwa kahle ukuthi konke lokho okutholayo kufanele ukuthi ubheke kahle kuze kufike labo abafanele ekufanele basebenze ngabo.
Yeah.
Yes.
You testified that you entered inside the house and you found a hat and exhibits that were referred to you in terms of the photo album. You remember that evidence?
Uyakhumbula ke kunalesi sithombe besitshengiswa lana, isithombe besitshengiswa lana ke la ushilo khona ukuthi kwakunesigqoko, kune crush nobunye ubufakazi lobo batholakala khona lapha phakathi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you do your duty as a police officer to guard those items, to make sure that there is no interference to those items that you had observed inside the house?
Ingabe wawenza yini umsebenzi wakhe nanje ngephoyisa ke ukwenza isiqiniseko ke ukuthi lokho okwatholakala ke phakathi endlini ukuthi ke akukho ukuphazanyiswa noma ukuphazamiseka kukona lokho okwatholakala phakathi endlini. Ingabe wawenza yini umsebenzi wakhe njengephoyisa? Yes, I did.
Yeah, did you safeguard those items?
Wa safeguard lokho.
Yeah.
Yes.
You testified that you left to the hospital and you
Ushilo-
left the crime scene with Mr. Khumalo. Do you remember that?
Ushilo ukuthi nahamba na esibhedlela futhi umuntu enamshiya lapha yana uMr Khumalo.
That was not guarding. It means you left the evidence with someone else who was not a member of the police officer. Am I correct?
Kusho ukuthi nashiya umuntu lapha yana ongasiyena, ongasilona iphoyisa.
Am I correct?
Kuyiqiniso lokho?
If you have no answer, just say so. We have no answer.
Uma kuwukuthi impilo I don't have an answer.
I'm telling you that you left the crime scene when you knew exactly that you were supposed to guard the crime scene. You left it with Mr. Khumalo.
Ngithi ke kwena ke mina ke endaweni yokuthi ke nigadeke noma nibheke crime scene nayishiya ke nishiya nayo Mr Khumalo.
Okay.
Okay?
You also failed to prevent the tampering with the crime scene and left the crime scene with Mr. Khumalo.
Nokuthi ke anizange nikwenzeke ukuthi ke nigadeke ukuthi nivike noma nivimbeke ukuthi kungabikho ukuphazanyiswa noma ukutempara ngokuthi nishiye uKhumalo lapha yana.
Angithi uzangitshela.
Isn't it that you are still putting it to me?
Yes, do you have any comment?
Khona ufuna ukusho.
That you left the crime scene?
Hayi ngoba uzangitshela okulungile.
Because you are putting it to me, it's fine.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that you left the crime scene with Mr. Khumalo?
Uyavuma? No.
With whom did you leave the crime scene with?
Nakushiya bani kanti?
Angishiyanga umuntu.
I didn't leave anyone.
Oh, okay. So the crime scene was left unattended.
Kusho ukuthi nashiya nje inganakiwe i-crime scene noma ingabhekiwe.
I want to get the clarity now.
Ngifisa uchazelwa ke manje.
Was there a police officer who was left at the crime scene when you left, or it was Mr. Khumalo only, or you left with no one?
Ingabe uma nihamba ke niye esibhedlela likhona yini iphoyisa nalishiya noma kwasala uMr Khumalo kuphela?
Hayi alikho.
No, there's no police officer.
Okay. It was only Mr. Khumalo.
Akukhumalo kuphela.
Okay. You know the reason why I'm asking you these questions, Mr. Mthethwa, it's because as a police officer, you had a legal duty to guard the crime scene to avoid the tampering of the crime scene.
Imbangela ke ukuthi ngikubuzeke imibuzo engikubuzayo ngoba nanje ngephoyisa ke kwakumele ngokomthetho ke noma uphoqwa ke umthetho ke ukuthi ukwenzeke isiqiniseko sokuthi i-crime scene leyana ke i-secure noma ke igadiwe. Okay?
Okay. And I'm going to show you through the statements of the people who made statements how the crime scene was tampered with after you had left the crime scene.
Ngizokutshengisa ke lokho ngezitatimende zabantu abazenza ke abashoyo ukuthi ukuphazamiseka ke okwaba khona ke kuyona ke i-crime scene emuva kokuthi nayishiya. Okay.
After inspecting inside the house and discovered what you had just testified about, did you inspect the premises outside the house of the crime scene?
Emuva kokuthi senibhekile ke ngaphakathi endlini ingabe nabheka yini egcekeni? Yes, we did.
Did you see any car within the premises?
Ikhona imoto enayibona ngaphakathi egcekeni? No.
On the street
Estradini?
next to the Khumalo homestead and the neighboring houses, did you see any Honda?
Eduze kwakwa Khumalo na komakhelwane ingabe khona yini Honda owayibona?
I don't.
No, nothing.
You testified that when you came back from the hospital, you entered inside the house. Am I correct?
Ushilo ke ukuthi inkathi nibuye esibhedlela nangena ngaphakathi endlini. Yes.
Okay, let me just go back a little bit first. I'm sorry, my lord. When you said you entered the house and inspected and noticed the head and the crash on the floor, did you also look around the kitchen now, on top of the cupboards?
Uma seningena ke endlini ilehlandla loqala ke wabona isigqoko ke wabona futhi naleya crash ingaba wabheka yini ke khabetheni ubheke la kitchen ke noma sekhabetheni estofini ubheke nje la kitchen? The first time, no.
Okay, and then when did you eventually check?
Oh, makukuthi wabheka ke na wabheka nini? When we came back for the second time.
Okay, you check around.
Nabheka bheka nje. Yes.
And you did not see anything
Anzange ngibone lutho.
other than the items that were on the floor.
Ngaphandle kwalezi enazibona ziphansi.
I don't.
No, nothing.
Okay. Did you also notice the door that was damaged?
Isicabha lesi ke esasalimeleke.
I mean the kitchen door, my lord.
Isicabha lesi esase kitchen esasilimeleke naso nasibona.
Did you see? Or did you notice?
Yes, we did.
Okay, you did. Okay. And then when you looked around, you did not find anything. Is that your evidence?
Kubufakazi bakho ukuthi uma senibheka ke anizange nithole lutho.
I don't.
No, nothing.
And it is your evidence that you entered the kitchen together with
Matebula.
sorry, my lord.
Matebula.
Yes, Matebula, my lord, and Captain Zwane, who was interviewing Makhumalo when you came back from the hospital. Thank you, my lord.
Uma sengena ke angena nayo uMathebula kanye naye ke uCaptain Zwane oshilo ukuthi uyena ke owaye interviewer uMakhumalo. Yes.
So it means you were now 4. Was it the only 4 people who were inside the kitchen, or there were many other people?
Kwakuyinina no4 kuphela noma babe khona ke nabanye abantu ababekhona phakathi? It was only us.
Oh, okay. Up to the stage when you left the crime scene to Mr. Mosia.
Kwaze kwayila khona ke usushiya khona ke isini noma senishiya khona ke isini nishiya kumsiya. Yes.
There's no person who entered the kitchen.
Akekho umuntu owangena ekitchen. No. Someone else?
There is a witness, Ms. Ntabisenge, who testified, and he said she went to the kitchen to get some water when the police were still conducting their investigations there at the kitchen.
Kunofakazi ke la ogama lakhe ke uNthabiseng otheke yena ke ufakazi bakhe wangena ke ekitchen eyothola amanzi nkathi amaphoyisa ayesenza uphenyo lawo.
You didn't see that?
Awukazi awuzange ubone lokho. No, nothing.
And if it happened, you could have seen it. You
Uma
could have
kuwukuthi-
seen Ms. Ntabiseng entering the kitchen.
Uma kuwukuthi kwakwenzekile wawuzombona uNthabiseng engena ekitchen.
Why would you put it like that? Because his evidence is clear. It's just at the stage when he, Matebula, Zwane, and Musia were in the kitchen, nobody else entered. Now you're putting it to him that if Ntabiseng had entered, he says there were only 4. That's his evidence. So logic tells you Ntabiseng could have come subsequent to them being 4 with Zwane. If he says they were the only 4, I'm not saying that, he is saying it.
Yes.
He doesn't say, I don't know. I don't remember any other person who entered. Sir, are you certain that you were left with Zwane, Matebula, Musia in the kitchen?
Unesiqiniseko sokuthi kwakuwena uMathebula uZwane noMsiya ekitchen? Yes.
Only.
Phela. Only.
So I understand the witness.
Thank you, Madam. There is a police officer, warrant officer Mhlahlo, who attended the crime scene on the following day, and he made a statement wherein he says he found a projectile in the kitchen. Sorry, can I just read it as it, my lord? He found the projectile from the kitchen cabinet top.
Kunephoyisa ke uwarrant officer Mhlahlo othi yena ke waya ke ngelanga elilandelayo ke wathola iprojectile kwikhabethe ke noma ngaphezulu ke kwikhabethe lase kitchen.
He attended the crime scene after you.
Yena ke waya ke emuva kokuthi nina nani senilapha yana. Oh, okay.
But you didn't see this projectile that he says he found on top of, at the bottom of the cupboard.
Le projectile athi yena ke wayithola enzansi ekhabetheni anizange niyibone noma uzange uyibone wena.
No, sorry, my lord, not at the bottom. He found from kitchen cabinet top.
Uthe wayithola ke phezulu ke kwikhabethe lase kitchen. No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Okay, thank you. And then before, when you said you received a complaint about the shooting incident, do you still remember who reported that shooting incident?
Ingabe usakhumbula yini inkathi nithola lo mbiko ke ukuthi ubani lowo owayendlulisa umbiko lowo ukuthi kwakune shooting in progress?
Radio control.
It was radio control.
Oh, okay. You did not hear. He did not give the number, the name.
Akanikezanga ngegama.
Abasinika ngegama bathi shooting in progress emzamo basinike house number.
They didn't give us the name. They just said shooting in progress in Mzamo, and they gave us the house number.
Oh, okay. And when at the time when you left the crime scene to the hospital, why didn't you leave? You said you were 4. Am I correct?
Ushilo ukuthi nkathi niya lapha yana nani u4 angithi. Yes.
Why didn't you leave the other 2 members behind to look after the crime scene to ensure that there's no tampering with the crime scene?
Uma senihamba ke manje niye esibhedlela kwakungani laba abawu2 ke ningabashiyike ukuthi nje babheke ukuthi akukho kwenzekayo noma kwenziwayo la kwi-crime scene bese niyahamba nina niye esibhedlela?
Ngoba emqondweni yethu yayingakabikho into ethi isini kithi. So sasinike shisha abantu sinakathola information.
Because in our minds, nothing had yet registered or told us that it was a sin. There's no way that we would have left people not knowing as to what was happening.
Yeah, but the complaint was straightforward to say there has been a shooting incident. Am I correct?
Kodwa ke uma nithola ke umbiko ke wawuqondile nje ukuthi kwakune shooting in progress.
Awuhlale siwathola ama complaint aqondile kanti awaqondile.
We normally get complaints that are straightforward, yet they are not straightforward.
But I'm being specific in this one. I'm talking about this case. For this case, the complaint was specific to say there had been a shooting incident. It means if there had been a shooting incident, there had been a firing of shots.
Kodwa ke ngikhuluma ngalena ke manje ukuthi yayi specific ke ukuthi kwakukhulunywe ngokuthi kwakune shooting.
Kumele ukuthi nawe uma ufika lena phela kube nomuntu okufakazelakho lokho ukuthi lento oyithole ku radio control vele iyo ukuze uzokhona ukuqhubekela phambili.
Isn't it that when you get to the scene then, you need to get someone there who is going to confirm that which was reported to you by or via radio control, that indeed that the report you received is indeed so.
Okay.
So as for you to be able to proceed further.
Okay, but the nature of the report, what did you understand by the nature of the report that you received?
Kodwa ke kumbiko loyo onawuthola yini owayizwa noma owayithola kuleyo mbiko loyo?
Umbiko from radio control.
Usho wona yep.
Shooting in progress.
A shooting in progress.
What does that mean?
Kusho ukuthini?
What is the shooting?
Shooting.
Yeah, then it means a shot has been fired. Am I correct?
Kusho ukuthi kuqhume isibhamu lapho.
Hey, yithi esebenza lapha phandle. Yazi ukuthole i-complaint bethi robbery lapha. Uma ufika akho lutho.
We are the ones that are working outside. We do get complaints that there was a robbery over there. You get there and you find that there was absolutely nothing.
So ama false complaints wajwayele siyawazi. Ukuzeke sikuprovele ukuthi mhlawumbe akusiyi false complaint. Mele uthole umuntu onolwazi lapha ozokutshena into eyiyona yona eyenzakele la. Kodwa uma ungamtholi lo muntu uyithola lapha information uhamba usafeguard yonke isini nengesini.
We are used to false complaints. We get them. So as for you to be able to confirm that what was reported to you is indeed so, you need to get someone that was there to confirm that for you. So does that not mean now we are going to safeguard every sin that is not even a sin?
Okay, but you understood the nature of the complaint that a shot has been fired. Do you agree with me?
Kodwa ke wawuthola umbiko ukuthi kwaqhuma isibhamu.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yet when you were at the scene, you decided to leave the scene without safeguarding that crime scene of the shooting incident.
Kodwa ke nase nithatha ke isinqumo sokuthi nihambe ke nishiye lapho kungasafeguardiwe ke lapho.
So yeah.
I will say yes.
Okay. Let's move on, my lord. With the leave of the court, may I refer the witness to the statement of Miss Sylvia Hepingobeni. It's part of the statement disclosed to the defense. My lord, I don't wish to read the whole content if the court allows me. But
How many pages is that statement?
3, 4, 5. It's 6 pages, my lord. Maybe I should read it first into
Yeah,
the...
I've been lenient about this, but the law is very clear.
Yes, ma'am.
If you want to take this witness on discrepancies, and as Mr. Mnisi says, credibility,
Yes, ma'am.
you've got to read the whole statement
Yes,
so that
ma'am.
the court can have
Can have the full
feel.
picture.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Thank you, my lord.
so what do you want to do?
My lord,
What do you want to do?
it's
That
A117.
person is laughing. It's Mr. Mnisi who says credibility.
A117. I don't know if the witness can be assisted to go through as I'm reading, or he can just listen
You can read the whole statement. to
the
him.
whole statement.
Yeah, because it will be quicker with you.
Thank you, my lord.
You understand English, Mr.
Yes, yes.
You don't? Okay, fine. You'll have to interpret for him.
Isingisi ngiyasizwa kodwa
Yeah,
phela
ngiyakubona uyasizwa.
Kodwa phela
kusekhothe lapha kuyafuna ukuthi into uyizwisise kahle.
Okay.
but this is court, you need to understand
Yeah, now
something
you're right.
properly.
You'll interpret, Mr. Jonas.
Okay.
Can I have a copy?
Hello? A copy, yeah.
My lord, paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, I'm starting from paragraph 2
Yeah.
of the statement, my lord.
That's it, yeah.
I am an adult female with ID number 64, or maybe let me just leave the particulars of the witness, my lord, and start on paragraph 3. On 2014, 10/26, at approximately after 2000 hours, I was at my residence at the above-mentioned address in bed, but I was not yet asleep. I say the time was after 2000 because those days I was sleeping early and I usually slept at 2000 hours. Paragraph 3.
Okay. Ngay 26 October 2014 statement lesi sika Sylvia Happy Ngubeni isikhathi ke kwakusemuva nje ko-80 ngangikwami la ngihlala khona ke kuleli kheli elichaziwe la ngaphezulu ngisembhedeni kodwa ke ngangingalele ngikusho isikhathi ngisisho ngoba ke emuva ko-80 ngoba ngalawo malanga lawo ngangijwayele ukuthi ke ngilale early.
Okay. Paragraph 4. My daughter Gugu also was in the house, but not in my room. I heard a banging noise outside, and I thought it was my daughter Gugu closing the shack house outside in our yard. She was supposed to take the to the shack house before sleeping.
Indodakazi yami uGugu ke naye wayekhona ke endlini kodwa ke engekho ekamereni lami ngase ngizwa lo msindo ke ngaphandle ngacabanga ukuthi kwakuyiyona ke indodakazi yami uGugu evala umkhukhu wakhe ke ngaphandle egcekeni okwakumele ukuthi athathe isikhiya ahambe naso ayo emkhukhwini ngaphambi kokulala.
Paragraph 5. Immediately after hearing the banging noise, I heard the whistle blowing. When the whistle blew in Mzamo section, it's when blowing it to alert the commission in the neighborhood, the community in the neighborhood, so that everyone must come out to assist. I then jumped out of my bed and went outside.
Emuva kokuthi ngezwa loyo msindo ke ngase ngizwa ke ukushaywa kwempempe noma ekwendweba uma ngabe ke kushaywa yona ke impempe emzamo lokho kusube kukwazisa ke umphakathi ukuthi wonke umuntu kufanele aphumele ngaphandle ayolekelela ngase ngijumpa ke embhedeni wami ngaya ngaphandle.
In paragraph 7, my lord, in the streets there were many people. Mrs. Ngashe was standing outside her gate. I saw Gladness Kumalo standing in the street outside her housing, carrying her hands over her head, screaming and crying. Mrs. Ngashe informed me that Senzo was shot in the Kumalo's house and they are taking him to the hospital.
Estradini ke kwakunabantu umama uNgashe wayeme egate ngaphandle egateini yakwakhe ngase ngibona uGladness Khumalo emi estradini ngaphandle ke komuzi wakhe ebeke izandla zakhe ekhanda ememeza ekhala umama uNgashe wase engazisa noma engitshela ukuthi uSenzo wathi udutshuliwe emzini wakwaKhumalo futhi ke bayamhambisa bamsa esibhedlela.
Paragraph 8, I saw Senzo's BMW reversing out of the Kumalo's gate and drove away. I couldn't see the occupants in the car. I then proceeded to Kumalo's yard where I found my daughter Gugu. She was crying, carrying Tingo, Kelly's daughter. There were also some other neighbors I could remember, Julia Masia and Maggie Piri.
Ngase ngibona ke iBMW kaSenzo iphuma ke noma ireversa ke iphuma khona egcekeni la kwaKhuma egateini yakwaKhumalo yase ihamba angizange ngibaboneke ukuthi obani ababe ngaphakathi emotweni ngase ngiqhubeka ke ngiya khona egcekeni la kwaKhumalo la ngathola khona indodakazi yami uGugu owayephethe uThingo indodakazi yakhe uKelly babe khona nabanye ke omakhelwane ngikhumbula yena ke uJulia Msiya kanye noMaggie Phiri.
Should I proceed, my lord? Oh, thank you. Paragraph 9. Whilst in the yard of the Kumalos with other people speaking, Mr. Ngashe and her son were standing on the side of the wall in the yard. I raised a concern that the police must be summoned to the scene.
Ngisesegcekeni lapho ke la kwaKhumalo kanye nabanye futhi abantu sikhuluma umama uNgashe kanye nendodana yakhe ke babemi eceleni kobonda egcekeni ngase ngiveza ke noma ngisho ke ukuthi akubizwe amaphoyisa.
Okay. Paragraph 10. Maggie Piri responded that Senzo didn't die. Why should we call the police? I then responded that even though he is still alive. He was shot. The police must still be notified. Kaya Ncashe called the police.
Wasephendula ke uMekipiri ukuthi uSenzo akashonile ungani kufanele kubizwe amaphoyisa ngaphendula ke ngathi noma kuukuthi ke usaphila kodwa ke amaphoyisa kodwa ke udutshuliwe ngakho ke amaphoyisa awabizwe noma awaziswe uKhaya Ncashe wase efonela amaphoyisa.
Paragraph 11. My daughter Gugu informed me that Makhumalo, Gladness Khumalo, handed to her the house keys, Senzo's cell phone, and Kelly's daughter, Tingo. Makhumalo also later followed the people who went to the hospital. I don't know who took Senzo to the hospital. I assumed it was Kelly. Whilst Makhumalo was crying in the street, I heard her saying the person of this hat, she knows him and he usually passes by her house.
Indodakazi yami uGugu wangitshela ke ukuthi uMakhumalo Gladness Khumalo wamnikeza ikhiya zindlu, i-cellphone kaSenzo kanye futhi nendodakazi kaKelly uThingo. uMakhumalo wase kamuva ke naye elandela abantu labo abaya esibhedlele. Angazi ukuthi ubani owahambisa uSenzo ukuya esibhedlele, ngicabanga ke noma ngayicabangela ukuthi uKelly.
Paragraph 2.
Sorry, no, I'm not done.
Sorry,
Yet.
my lord.
Nice. Ngalesikhathi uMakhumalo ayekhala ngaso estradeni ngezwa ethi ke lo muntu noma umnikazi walesi sigqoko ngiyamazi umuntu ovamise ukudlula la endlini yami.
Paragraph 12. I didn't see the hat she was referring to, and she was not carrying a hat in her hands. When I arrived at the Khumalo homestead, the doors were closed. I don't know who opened the doors. Myself, Mekipiri, Julia, Masia, and Gugu went into the house.
Angizange ngisiboneke isigqoko leso ayekhuluma ngaso ngoba ke wayengasiphethe ezandleni zakhe. Uma ngifika ke kwaKhumalo ngathola ke ukuthi icapha ikhiyiwe. Angazi ukuthi ubani owavula, mina uMekipiri, uJulia Masia, uGugu sangena phakathi endlini.
Paragraph 13. The reason I went into the house is because I wanted to see what happened in the house. When we were in the house, I saw water on the floor in the passage near the toilet door. I was amazed to see the water on the floor where I was told somebody was shot in the house.
Imbangela yokuthi noma ngingeneke endlini ingoba ngangifuna ukubona ukuthi kwenzekani endlini. Sathi uma sesisendlini ke ngabona amanzi ayephansi epassagini eduze kwetoilet noma umnyango wasetoilet. Ngamangala ke ukubona amanzi phansi ngoba ngatshelwa ukuthi kunomuntu owadutshula endlini.
I made, paragraph 14, my lord, I made a comment that why was there water on the floor whereas there was shooting. Mekipiri responded that it is not water, it was liquor. The people who were in the house were drinking alcohol. I saw empties of the alcohol they were drinking on the floor in the passage. I can't remember if it was cans and bottles of empties. I didn't take note of the type of the liquor was the empties.
Ngase ngiphawula ke ngathi kwakungani ke ukuthi kube namanzi phansi kodwa ke kwadutshula lapho. Wasephendula ke uMekipiri ethi ingoba abantu ababelapho phakathi endlini babephuza utshwala. Babephuza ngase ngibona ke ama-empty ke otshwala ababeyophuza phansi kuyona ke ipassage. Angikhumbuli ke ukuthi kwakuwamakani noma ke amabhodlela yini otshwala. Angizange lokho ngikunake.
Paragraph 15, Mekipiri started to pick up the empties from the floor. I asked her why she was tidying up before the police could arrive at the scene. Megi responded that she doesn't want the police to see that the people who were inside the house were drinking. Myself, Gugu, and Julia then went outside.
uMekipiri waseqala ke ukuthi ke aqoqeke ama-empty phansi. Ngase ngimbuza ke mina ukuthi kwakungani ecleana ke ngaphambi kokuthi amaphoyisa afike lapho kwiscene. Umeki waphendula ke ukuthi wayengafuni ukuthi amaphoyisa abone ukuthi abantu ababe lapho phakathi endlini babephuza utshwala. Mina uGugu kanye noJulia sase siphumela ngaphandle.
Okay, paragraph 16 is a continuation, my lord, of paragraph 15, where it says, myself, Gugu, and Julia then went outside, leaving her there inside the house. She later came out of the house. It was not long after we went outside. She also left to the hospital. I don't know with whom did she go to the hospital. I thought she left with Temba because she also went to the hospital.
Kusaqhubeka ke lana ethi khona ke mina uGugu uJulia msiya sase siphumela ke ngaphandle sashiya yena lapho phakathi kamuva ke wasephuma naye ke endlini akubanga kudala ke noma kubanga isikhathi ke imuva kokuthi ephume esithina ke siphumele ngaphandle naye ke wase ehamba eya esibhedlela. Angazi ukuthi wahamba nobani ke ukuya esibhedlela. Ngicabanga ukuthi wahamba ke noThemba ngoba naye waya esibhedlela.
Paragraph 17, my lord. The police arrived at the scene and they went in the house. I can't remember who opened the house for them. They came out and I always saw the police van, thank you, the police van, and I thought the police were always in the vicinity. Later, a contingency of police arrived and cordoned off the scene with tapes. They closed the gates with the tapes and instructed all the people to go out of the yard. And only the family members must remain.
Amaphoyisa ase efika ke khona lapho ke futhi ke angena phakathi endlini. Angazi noma angikhumbuli ukuthi ubani owabavulela ke endlini. Base bephuma ke futhi ke nga event yamaphoyisa ngangibona isikhathi sonke. Ngicabanga ukuthi amaphoyisa ayehlezi ekhona ke lapho ekamuva ke kwase kufika ke inqwaba ke yamaphoyisa ase evala ke noma ebiya ke ecordona iscene leyo ngama tape. Igate leyo base beyivala futhi negate ngama tapes. Betshela wonke umuntu futhi ke ukuthi aphumele ngaphandle egcekeni ukuthi kusale abomndeni kuphela.
Yes, thank you. Paragraph 18, my lord. By that time, Makhumalo and other family members were back from the hospital. I don't know how did Makhumalo go to the hospital. I stood outside the yard with other people until around 2 o'clock, and I went to sleep.
Went home to sleep.
I went home to sleep. Thank you, madam.
Ngaleso sikhathi leso ke uMakhumalo kanye nabanye ke bomndeni babe sebebuyile ke esibhedlele. Angazi ukuthi uMakhumalo waya kanjani noma wayofika kanjani ke esibhedlele. Ngangimi phandle ke egcekeni kanye nabanye abantu kwaze kwashaya u2 ngase ngiya endlini ke ngiyolala.
This statement was signed on the 6th of July 2018 at 14:50.
Isikhathi ke salesi statement kwakuyi6 sika July 2018. Isikhathi ku10 to 3.
My lord, that's the end of the statement.
Okay.
Thank you, my lord. Can I then take the witness through the questions after the long adjournment?
Oh, is that so? Okay. All right. 2 o'clock, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.